Ow. What's up, everybody? Vic here from the Savage Oblivion, and we are back for more Shadowrun Dragonfall. Last time, we escaped the Humanis compound, eliminated everyone, and now we gotta go talk to Max and see about getting paid. Talk to him. Maxim looks up at the sound of your approach. If he's surprised to see you, he doesn't show it. Crazy night, huh? Pulls a flask from his jacket pocket and takes a long swig, and then looks you in the eye. I hope this was worth the trouble. Any luck finding our money in there? No money, but there are a few less racists in the world. All in all, I think we can call this one a win. He nods. I can live with that. Everybody pile in. We're out of here. Thank Christ that's over with. You okay, Alexander? The young man looks shell-shocked. He holds his rifle clenched tight in his trembling hands. Yeah, Uncle Diedrich, yeah, I'm okay. But those guys, I knew them. One of them was my bunkmate, and I killed him. Couldn't be helped. If you hadn't, he'd have killed you. Believe it. They're going to take you away from here, back to the Kreuzbasar. Get you the help that you need. Yeah. Okay, Uncle. Okay. Diedrich glances over his shoulder and locks eyes with you. Thanks for this, boss. My nephew is safe, and I owe you. One other thing. The Dragon Slayer is happy too. We just did a ballsy thing, protected my family, and gave a monster a bloody nose in the process. Glad to hear that he approves. You should be. When the Dragon Slayer is pleased, he tends to be generous with his rewards. I can feel the power coursing through me, boss. I don't know what form it'll take yet, but it's there. And soon enough, I'll be able to use it. I don't mean to break this up, but we need to get moving. Kid, you're with us. The rest of you, pile into that other van. You can continue having your moment when we get back to Schottenest. Alright, return to the Kreuzbasar. To answer your question from Skype, Kurosu, the icons may change slightly, but the alignments will not. It'll just be a cosmetic change. Your PDA rings, and the face of your fixer, Paul Amsel, appears on screen. Vic Toews, I have new information to discuss about the estate. Please come as soon as you can. Alright, first we're going to talk to Beckenbauer. Hello again, mein Freund. What can I do for you? I've uncovered what Humanis is up to. You'll find the details on this datapad. Beckenbauer eyes the plans on the datapad, then nods grimly. This fits with Humanis' established pattern of behavior. Horrific and vile. According to this datapad, Humanis compounds all over Berlin have received similar shipments. They're planning to deploy the gas tomorrow morning. I have a feeling that the Flux State will have a thing or two to say about that. Stahl has overstepped his bounds. His hubris will be his undoing. Actually, I was his undoing. Volker Stahl is no longer among the living. That is excellent news. I am not ashamed to say that I wish the man dead. He deserved whatever you did to him. Yeah, one shot at his ass. Like a bitch. And now, I'm going to see to it that the rest of his twisted organization suffers in the same ways that he did. You mark my words. Within the next few hours, the Humanis Poly Club is going to take a hammering that will make the Night of Rage look like a peace rally. I owe you a great deal, Vic Toews. We all do. I will wire your payment to the account number that Amsel provided. Pleasure doing business with you. Akka, that sounds epic. The jealousy is real. Alright. So now, let's go talk to Amsel. Well, first we'll talk to our team members that we run into, see if they've got anything new to say. Blitz stubs out his cigarette at your approach. Vic Toews, I was hoping I'd see you. Do you have another run lined up for us yet? I'm strapped for cash. Don't worry, we're doing fine on the job front. Amsel's been working overtime. Oh, thank God. And thank you, Chief. Thank Paul, too, come to think of it. So, did you have a question for me, or was this a social call? Any thoughts about that last run you'd like to share? Never been a big fan of poly clubs in general, let alone a bunch of swine like Humanis. How an idiot like Stahl could attract so many followers is beyond me. On the plus side, he's dead now, so that's good. I don't know, boss. If you were hoping for something more profound, I'd talk to one of the others. Why are you so strapped for cash? With all the work we've been doing, you should be rolling in Nguyen. What can I say, Chief? Tries on a thoroughly unconvincing smile, but immediately seems to think better of it, and the anxious look returns to his face. I have expensive tastes. I was hoping for a straight answer. You've got a talent for deflection, Blitz. And you're annoyingly persistent. If you must know, I'm in debt. That's where all the money's going. In debt? To who? He hesitates before responding. When he does, his voice carries an edge of annoyance. No offense, but this is getting a little too personal, Chief. My debts are none of your business. If some bookie sends his thugs here looking for you, it's going to become my business. So talk. Now. Blitz shakes his head in exasperation. Alright, fine. First off, you don't need to worry about anyone coming after me. My debts are to a bunch of old contacts. If I don't pay them, I'm going to lose them, and in this line of work, it ain't smart to burn bridges. Second, before you ask, these debts are for services rendered. I was in a tight spot, I needed some help, and I threw around a lot of IOUs to get it. Third, and finally, the trouble I was in involved a girl. I'll tell you about it if you ask me to, but we're verging deep into personal feelings territory, so if you don't want to hear me sob over my ex-girlfriend, you'll drop the subject now. So it's up to you, Chief. You really want to go down this road, or shall we keep this relationship professional? Yeah, you're clearly preoccupied with this. In our line of work, preoccupied can get you killed. So spit it out, and we'll deal with it. Blitz meets your gaze for a moment, then looks away and sighs. Alright, where to begin? I met Emily in Dragonfall. She was the first person who was ever more important to me than myself. I was crazy about her, Chief. To this day, she's the only person I've ever met who could outdeck me. And the real kicker, she wasn't even a decker by trade. There was nothing she wasn't good at. I like to dabble in rigging, but Emily, that girl could pick up anything that she set her mind to. Sounds like a hell of a girl. She was. She made things right. No matter how stupid I was, no matter what I got myself into, she made it right. I don't think much of many people, Chief. Emotional attachments aren't really my thing. Love seems like a diluted word these days, so I won't waste it on Emily. Let's just say she was important to me. And then I lost her. I didn't know what was happening. It came out of nowhere. One day she was just gone, along with most of my decking gear. The only explanation was a handwritten note on old-fashioned paper. Leave me alone. That was it. We'd been together for years, and that was all she left me. That and this beat-up old cyberdeck. Naturally, I freaked. We'd had our share of arguments, but we'd never had a huge blowout or anything. I couldn't think of anything that'd drive her to do a thing like that. Mostly, I felt hurt, so I searched for her, in the real world and in the Matrix. And when that turned up nothing, I started tapping my contacts, and that was when I started racking up debt. And so, did you find her? No, she's gone, Vic Toews, without a trace. I looked high, I looked low, I poked into everything I could think of, and my contacts did the same. She's gone, Chief. At this point, I've accepted that, but I still have to repay those debts. I feel for you, man, but you're right. Best to leave the past in the past, pay your debts, and move on. Yeah, you're right, of course. Thanks for the talk, Chief. Interesting. Sure that won't become important later. Paul will talk to you in a minute. Diedrich. You really came through for me, boss. You ever need anything from me, anything at all, and you call on me, and I'll come running. How's Alexander holding up? He's a good kid, that nephew of mine. Give him some time and he'll shake Stahl's programming. It might take a while, but he'll adjust to life here in the Kreuzbasar. In the meantime, I found a good home for him. Samuel's agreed to take him in. Is that wise? Samuel's employee have no love for Humanis. Most of them don't even like humans. Best thing for the kid will be to learn through immersion. If he stays with Samuel's group, he'll have no choice but to interact with metahumans. Soon enough, he'll learn that they're no different from anyone else. First few days will be rough, no question, but he'll make it through, and he'll come out the other side a better man for it. He seems like a tough kid. I don't doubt that you're right. Diedrich claps you on the shoulder. You're a good man, boss. On to other things. Remember what I was telling you back before we climbed into the van? Yeah, you were saying that the Dragon Slayer was happy, and that you'd been given a reward. That's right. Thanks to our, let's not mince words, heroic actions back in that fine pit, the Dragon Slayer has seen fit to grant me his favor. His grin widens. And now I know what that means, and what I can do with it. Well, don't keep me in suspense. He gestures near the ground at his feet. This. As you watch, the spot that Diedrich is pointing at begins to glow. Lines of force spread out in a scintillating web, and a feeling of raw power suffuses your body. I've just torn open a channel between myself and the Dragon Slayer. That power you feel is his power, pouring through the ether and into that spot. If you're familiar with ley lines, it's the same basic concept. I consecrate a patch of ground, and as long as I stand in that spot, all of my magic gets stronger. He crosses his arms over his chest. Not bad, huh? What about another major shaman? Could someone else benefit from one of these channels, too? He shrugs. Don't see why not. Like I said, it's basically a ley line. As long as you're on the Dragon Slayer's good side, I don't see why you couldn't use it. My idol, he isn't stingy with his gifts. Anyway, boss, I want to keep fiddling with this, learning to properly control it. And I'm sure you've got things to do as well. You take care of whatever else that needs doing, and by our next run, I'll be ready to use this. Sounds good. Take care, Diedrich. You too, boss. Alright. Let's go talk to Iger. I said talk to her. As you approach, Iger turns to face you. Her rifle has been field stripped and is lying in pieces on a sheet of butcher paper. Arranged in a neat row along the paper are bottles of copper solvent, bore cleaner, and lighter fluid. Our fearless leader returns. What do you need? Any thoughts about that last run? After all the moral ambiguity that we've been wading through, hitting Humanis was incredibly satisfying. What they had planned, it makes my blood boil just thinking about it. The thought of Stahl lying dead on the ground brings a smile to my face. I hope that he enjoys rotting in hell. Cool. I'd like to hear about your time in the KSK. She shakes her head. No. I'm not in the habit of sharing war stories, Vic Toews. Not with people who have never served. Doesn't have to be a war story. I just want a better idea of who I'm running with. She looks you in the eye for a moment, evaluating, and finally she shrugs. Alright, Vic Toews, you win. I owe everything to my time in the KSK, from my street name on down. So you tell me what you want to know, and we'll see where this goes. Well, tell me how you got your street name. Back when I was in basic training, a fellow recruit made a vulgar joke at my expense. He said I reminded him of the north face of the Eiger in the Bernese Alps. Huge and beautiful, but dangerous to climb. His tone left little doubt as to what sort of climbing he had in mind. I think that he was trying to proposition me in his clumsy way, poking me in front of the other recruits to try to provoke a reaction. Anyway, he got one. I broke 3 of his ribs, and the name stuck. Served him right. Iger regards you with a critical eye. You might actually mean that, but then you may just be trying to get on my good side. Anyone who'd use a line that bad deserves to get smacked around a little. She nods. For once, we're in complete agreement, but there was more to it than that. As soon as that idiot made his little joke, it was a foregone conclusion that I was getting saddled with the nickname Iger. My only choice in the matter was whether it happened under his terms or under mine. If I hadn't broken that twit's ribs, the name Iger would have meant a difficult sexual conquest to a whole barracks full of recruits. That's what I would have been to them from that point on. My own accomplishments be damned. Thanks to what I did, my new name meant the troll who doesn't take shit from anyone. Instead, it's a name I'm proud to go by, and I've hung on to it ever since. Iger pauses for a moment, then looks you in the eye. A word of advice to you, Vic Toews. If anyone ever puts you in the position that he put me in, if he demeans you in front of your unit, whatever his intent, the appropriate response is to put that person down. Hard. Out in the field, nothing will kill you faster than losing the respect of your team. By that logic, I should have broken your ribs after Monica died. In your place, I would have. She looks you up and down, appraising you. Not that you'd have succeeded if you tried, but in terms of saving face, it would have done wonders. In all seriousness, Vic Toews, I'm sorry that I put you in that position. I shouldn't have, and I acknowledge that. She straightens. Need anything else, or can I get back to prepping for our next run? Tell me about your team. She nods. Fair enough. I guess you've earned it. There were 8 of us, 2 commando squads working together as a single unit. Schmidt and Lang were combat deckers. Wolf was our rigger and combat engineer. Fisher handled demolitions. Braun was a medic, and the rest of us, Metzer, Kruger, and myself, were weapon experts. Our mission was extraterritorial, technically illegal, but important enough to justify the risk. We'd been sent across the border into Poland. The Russian mafia had set up a cottage industry and human trafficking all along the Oder-Neisse line, and it was our job to disrupt it. I don't have security etiquette, so go on. We were a good team, experienced. We went through a lot together, and we chalked up a lot of kills. In our own way, I'd like to think that we did some good. Who was in command? Metzger. Best leader I've ever had the pleasure of serving under. Her face clouds. He was a hell of a man. But he went down with the rest of the team. Everyone but me. What happened to the team? She shakes her head. No. That's one story I won't be telling. They died. That's all you need to know. Alright. Thanks, Iger. So is there something else, or can I go back to cleaning? No more questions. She turns back to the disassembled components of her rifle. Sure thing, fearless leader. Good talk. Yes, good talk, everyone. I don't think there's anything I need in here. Nope. However, before I go talk to Ghost, let's get this. New messages. 2 unread messages. RE job, hijacked shipments. From Gunnari Metbach to Vic Toews. If you value new hardware coming into the Kreuzbasar, we need to talk. One of my weapon shipments was hijacked by a local gang. I can promise 500 new yen, and if you can recover the shipment, I'll have some new gear on the shelf. Come see me for the details. Okay. Commissioning your services. Withheld. We would like to arrange a meeting between you and one of our representatives. You will find him at the cafe nearby. His name is Luca Dwyer. He will be expecting you. Come alone. Alright. Open the jobs directory. Let's see. Claim payment for the Humanis data steal. Submit the job as finished and await your client's response. A few moments later, a message pops up on the screen. From Samuel Beckenbauer to Vic Toews. Here's your payment, as promised. Beckenbauer. A moment later, a second message pops into your inbox. Your payment details. Payment from client, 22.5. Deductions for crew salary, 6,000. Ammunition and resupply, 1.5. Automatic deduction for Alice funds, 11.25. Remainder sent to Vic Toews' account, 37.5. Payment transfer complete. Alright. View all pending and active jobs. Let's see. Amsel's face winks onto the screen. Vic Toews, here you will find the complete transcript of my conversation with Herr Schmidt, a potential client. As you will see, the details of the job are a bit more vague than I would like, but the payout is quite substantial. After reading the transcript, you may choose whether or not to accept the job. If you respond in the affirmative, our client will be notified and I will make all necessary preparations for the run. One other thing, Herr Schmidt provided me with a device to assist you on the run. He calls it a little black box. Apparently, it can be used to compromise the power and security systems of the run site. If you opt to take the job, be sure to take it with you. Amsel's image flickers, then winks away. A moment later, a glowing blue text field begins to scroll up from the bottom of the screen. Greetings, Herr Amsel. I trust that this connection is secure? Naturally. To whom do I have the pleasure of speaking? Call me Herr Schmidt. Very well, Herr Schmidt. You have some business for me? Indeed. I have a job for your team. A simple matter. Judging by what I've heard of your team, I imagine they will be well suited to the task. Go on. The interests that I represent have learned that AG Chemi Europa is working on a company-wide project. Something very secret. Very new. Reliable sources inform me that they're keeping a working prototype of this new venture at their Berlin facility. I see. And your employers wish us to acquire this prototype for them? Naturally. What is this project? If you want my team to grab the prototype for you, they'll need to know what they're looking for. I'm not at liberty to say. I can tell you that the prototype has been branded Mark 6. I can also tell you that your team will find it on the 25th floor of the Berlin facility, in the office of one Albrecht Haushofer. Further, I can assist your team in disabling the building's security and gaining access to the 24th floor. From there, however, they will be on their own. Such vagueness can be dangerous, Herr Schmidt. I will not commit my team to a run without a better understanding of what the job entails. Facing such dangers is the purpose of a shadow runner, Herr Amsel. Your team will be rewarded handsomely for their services. My employers have set aside 20,000 nuyen for the job. Consider it hazard pay if you wish. Make it 25,000 or look somewhere else. 22,500. Final offer. Very well. I will pass your offer on to my team. Are there any further details that you can provide? Haushofer's office will be locked behind a vault door. The lock is old-fashioned, of the mechanical variety. I will provide your team with a copy of the key. I will also supply you with a little black box, a solid-state device that your team can use to override a variety of building systems. Your team will enter through the facility's underground garage. When your team has acquired the Mark VI, have them exit through the same garage. I will have a van there waiting to extract them. Thank you, Herr Schmidt. I will pass your offer on to my team. Good day, Herr Amsel. The text field disappears. A single line of text pops into the center of the screen, taking its place. Accept job, yes or no. I'm going to decline for now until I see what else is available to me. See what the pharma cleanup is. Amsel's face winks onto the screen. Here you will find the complete transcript of my conversation with Herr Fox. Fred Fox? A potential client. The job seems to be relatively straightforward and the payout is reasonable. One word of caution before you proceed. There are aspects of this run you might find morally troubling. Be sure to read and understand the specifics of the job before accepting. If you do accept, you will be expected to carry out the requirements of the job in full. After reading the transcript, you may choose whether or not to accept the job. If you respond to the affirmative, our client will be notified and I will make all necessary preparations for the run. Herr Amsel? Yes, I am here. To whom am I speaking? You may call me Herr Fuchs. Very well. Please describe the work that you would like to have done. Straight to the point. I like that. Very well. I would like to retain your team's services to clean up a mess. Go on. My employers dispatched a team of operatives to conduct a quiet operation at a local Schering Pharma AG lab. Unfortunately, they botched the job. The team was eliminated, but we have reliable information that one of the operatives has been taken captive. If this rogue agent were to spill information leading back to my employers, it could lead to a corporate war. A great many lives could be lost. My employers would like nothing more than to prevent such a tragic turn of events. Ah, I see. And you wish to retain my team's services to tie up loose ends. Exactly. The captive operative is a rigger by the name of Thorvald Enstad. We need him neutralized before he can inform on us to his captors. As Enstad and his team have already put the facility on high alert, stealth will not be an option. Your team will need to shoot its way in, eliminate Enstad, and exit the facility. A straightforward enough task, and well within my team's capabilities. What are you offering in terms of pay? 15,000. This offer is non-negotiable. Very well. I will pass the offer on to my team. Very good. Good day, Herr Amsel. Text field disappears, yes or no. I'm going to decline for now, and because I have to go around the Kreuzbasar and talk to people and blah blah blah. Status of the Alice Fund. Current funds 2125. Required funds 50k. Deposit? No, I'm not depositing shit. Access the BBS. Shadowland connection established successfully. Link strength 100%. Spoofing equals 1. Group info equals null. Anon. Welcome to Shadowland. Let's go ahead and post this pay data for sale. Attach data to escrow account. Data will be automatically sold to the highest bidder, and both parties will remain anonymous throughout transaction. Post the Humanis Safehouse list. Posting successful. It will remain active for 2 days. Alright, Search the BBS for relevant keywords. Let's see what people are talking about. Thread, Transis Highlander, best new deck? Just got one of these from a Transis Neuronet rep. Wants me to sell them in my store, so I took the puppy for a test drive. Signal quality is insane. Makes for a huge difference in comfort, decking fatigue. I can stay jacked in for hours and feel fine. Last session I had to set a timer just so I wouldn't forget to eat. Specs on that thing look impressive, but I'm an Allegiance man. Does the comfort really make that much of a difference? My decks are generally beaters anyway. Allegiance? What are you doing with that thing? Playing video games? Any serious decking is going to require way more horsepower than that thing can push, even overclocked. Only a crappy decker blames their gear. I do just fine, thanks. How much is Transis paying you to post this shisa on here? No more posts in the thread. Help! Drowning in junk messages! Oi, chummers, I could use your help. Every time I jack into the Matrix these days, I'm flooded with junk mail. There's so much of it I can't even see. Can anyone help me? Great. Another newbie who thinks he's on a tech support board. Hey, stuff it. I wouldn't ask, but I'm desperate. I can't deck like this. Alright, Thunder, calm down. It sounds like an ad bot is keyed into your deck. Been poking around anywhere sketchy lately? I don't need details. A simple yes or no will do. No, Bandit, I haven't been anywhere like that. I swear. Please, help me. What you want to bet he gave his personal info to some scam site? I'll give you 10 to 1 odds. No, I don't think so. All I did was make an online dating profile. Oh, boy. Let me guess. Meet and mate? How did you guess? That's not a real dating site, Thunder. It's a place where desperate people go to get infected with malware. But what do I do? How do I make it stop? I don't know. Buy a new deck. Best of luck. No more posts. The paid ad is already posted. That ends that. Let's go talk to Glory. I think I called her Ghost earlier. Oops. For the first time since you met her, Glory's expression seems to brighten. It's subtle, but it's there. You're sure of it. Vic Toews. A pleasure, as always. Need anything from me? How are you doing, Glory? Golden as always, Vic Toews. No problems here. If I didn't know any better, I'd think you were warming up to me. She studies your face for a moment before responding. I suppose that you might say that. I don't talk to many people, Vic Toews. It just doesn't seem to be worth the effort. I don't really feel much anymore. Not since she caresses the chrome of her forearm with a hand made of articulated steel. This. If that's true, why are you still talking to me? I suppose because you've shown an interest, and because you haven't let me push you away. She locks eyes with you, and her expression is blank. I don't want to mislead you, Vic Toews. I still don't feel anything. Not warmth, or friendship, or even trust. But I can appreciate the effort you're making. It's something new, and it's worthy of exploring. Alright, are you ready to tell me about the chrome you're sporting? I'm getting there, Vic Toews, but you'll have to give me some time. The answers will come when they do. Alright, any thoughts about that last run? I don't think I'm going to pressure her on that if she's not ready to talk yet. I have no strong feelings about the run one way or the other. Humanis is, of course, a horrible organization. But then, so is every target and every other target we've run against. To say that they deserved it would be redundant. She pauses for a moment to consider. That said, I'll admit that I do enjoy a certain sense of satisfaction thinking about Stahl's head breaking apart, so there's that. You know what? I am going to ask about it. You said that things went bad when you turned 14. I'd like to keep talking about that. She stares at you, her face expressionless. No, I'd rather not. Why not? Because I don't see a reason to. The memories are unpleasant, and dredging them up doesn't serve any real purpose. Fair enough. I'll give you your space. Yes, that would be best. Just wanted to hear the sound of your voice. Take it easy, Glory. Her lips lift into something approaching a smile. You too, Vic Toews. Alright, well, let's go talk to Paul in person instead of on the computer. But first, let's pet Dante. And tell him to sit. Sit. Yay! I'm not going to tell him to play dead. That just seems cruel. Vic Toews, welcome back. I have news for you. In your absence, I've been looking into the Harfeld Manor. Whatever Feuerschwinge is up to, it is both large-scale and well-funded. I've uncovered a money trail leading from holding companies all over the world to an offshore fund with a dummy address. From there, all that freshly laundered money flows directly into the Harfeld estate. How much money are we talking about here? Can't name an exact figure, but we're talking about a lot of money. In the millions of Nuyen, most certainly. Whatever the Firewing is planning, she has access to all the resources she'll need to carry it out. But Feuerschwinge was different. She didn't scheme or plot. She acted. Yes, and look where it got her. When the Firewing launched her attack on humanity, it was an act of hubris. She lashed out because she didn't consider our species to be a threat. It would be equally hubristic for us to assume that she will make the same mistake twice. I will continue digging into this while you and the team tackle your next run. With luck, I will have more information to share upon your return. Alright, sounds good, Paul. One last thing, Vic Toews. Malit was able to restore the readable surface of one of Green Winter's DVDs. If you'd like to take a look, you will find it sitting beside the plate. Just one of them? She's still working on the others. Many of them are extensively damaged, and getting anything off of them is proving to be quite a chore. She has told me that she'll be in touch if and when she makes any headway. Thanks, Paul. Alright. It's movie time! Media tray of the DVD player slides out of its battered plastic case. Is it this one? Nope. That's the old one. Load the second DVD. Alright, software, the spinning DVD, play track 1. Screen goes black for a moment, then Green Winters appears on the screen. Timestamp on the video reads 2054-11-11. Alright, as I said in my last recording, I've been having trouble finding hard facts on Feuerschwinge, so I thought I'd open things up a bit. Let's see what the rumor mill has to say. Screen jumps and Winters reappears in a different location. He's now clutching a mug of soy calf in both hands, and there are bags under his eyes. Well, that was enlightening. Assuming that any of it was true, that is. So, for the past 5 hours, I've been poking around some of the crazier fringe theories related to dragons and the SOX. As a reminder, the SOX is an irradiated wasteland between France and Germany. It got zoned off back in '08 after the Cattenom GAU reactor meltdown. Anyway, there are all kinds of rumors floating around about the place. I've heard stories about a walled city in there that operates on a survival of the fittest, kill or be killed basis. Sort of like a nightmare version of Berlin. All of the anarchy, but none of the stability that the F-state provides. Radiation poisoning, cancer, and mana pollution are just the icing on the cake. So when Adrian helped the Luftwaffe shoot Feuerschwinge down, she crashed into the SOX. That much is well known. What isn't as well known are all of the modern day myths that have risen about her since. And tonight, I've heard an earful. I chatted up a girl who claimed to be a ghost rat. That's a smuggler who operates in the SOX. She told me about a dragon cult called the Disciples of the Cleaning Fire. Apparently, these cultists worship some sort of radioactive ghost dragon. Could be Feuerschwing, or could be nothing, but it's worth digging into all the same. Another thing that my little ghost rat told me. The popular rumor in the SOX is that Feuerschwing's astral form was, I guess you'd say, mutated by all of that background radiation. Some of the glow punks out there say that she's shed her body like an old coat. Others say that she's trapped, doomed to languish as an intangible, radioactive ghost. I don't know how much credence to give any of this. After all, I don't have any proof that my ghost rat is even a ghost rat. She might be, but then she could also be just a run-of-the-mill glow punk. Or maybe she's just yanking my chain and she's never been to the SOX at all. Who knows? Well, it's food for thought anyway. I don't know whether the thought of some radioactive ghost dragon thing is any scarier than a genuine dragon is, but it's interesting all the same. Now the big question is, will any of this get me any closer to finding Adrian? I'm gonna go out on a limb and say no, but you never can tell. Play track 2. Screen goes black for a minute. Timestamp on the video 2054-11-12. Alright, let's continue thinking outside the box. After the Dragonfall, the great dragon Kaltenstein came flying into the SOX to rescue the Firewing, but he was driven off, some say killed, by Lofweir and Nebelherr. So what if there's another dragon involved in all of this? Winters grabs a thick leather-bound tome from a shelf behind him, licks a finger, and begins to leaf through it. Alright, so let's run down the list of major dragons that could be helping her. First, there's the Golden Worm, Lofweir, the CEO of Siderkrupp, and possibly the single most dangerous being on Earth. Lofweir's a local boy, so he'd be in a position to help Feuerschwing. He certainly has the financial capability to help her. He could send in a small army into the SOX if he wanted to. So he's definitely got the means, but I can't see how he'd have the motive. He actively prevented the Firewing's rescue back in 2012, after all. Same thing is true for Nebelherr, so let's scratch both of them off the list. He flips a page, frowning. We've got Aden, the great Sarush. He's operating out of Turkey. By all accounts, he's not a fan of Lofweir. They're actively competing for territory in the Middle East. So I suppose that could be considered motive. Reviving the Firewing might cause problems for the Golden Worm. But would he risk a war with Siderkrupp by straying onto Lofweir's territory? Again, I don't think it's likely. He turns another page. There's Seladir out in Wales. He's pretty heavily invested in Transys Neuronet, so he's got the money, but he's too busy dealing with the BTL killer scandal that Transys is going through out in London to get his claws dirty in the SOX. Nokelzan out in the UCAS. He pauses, shakes his head, then slams the tome shut. No. This is a waste of time. The more I think about it, the more convinced I am. The Firewing is acting alone. Dragons don't cooperate unless they absolutely have to. After all, why bother making nice with your equals when you've got an entire planet full of pawns at your disposal? They don't need to work together. They have us to exploit. Main menu returns. Track 3. Well, the track does load. It's clearly corrupted, and the screen fills with a meaningless stream of text. Yep. Play track 4. File is partially garbled. You recognize a few words here and there, but they're interspersed amidst a solid block of corrupted text. Vauclair and still my big still searching for Irewing. Will swear to Aslian, I will find you. If it's the last old I'll swear to Ash. New research turning up. Don't know who. Okay. Play track 5. File is corrupted and screen fills with a meaningless assortment of ASCII 2 characters. Play track 6. Screen goes black and the same digital chime that you heard on the Dragonfall DVD plays again. A crackle of static fills the air, followed by that same, now familiar electric whine. A few moments later, the display goes live. Vauclair looks haggard. His eyes are heavily bagged and bloodshot, and his hair is mussed. He holds a cigarette in an unsteady hand. Hermie, it's me. I can't sleep. I don't know where you are, out having fun, no doubt. Maybe flirting with one of those unattainable beauties that you're always chasing. He tries on a smile, but it quickly disappears. He takes a drag on his cigarette. That's good. I want you to live a pleasant, normal life. After all, one of us should. Vauclair rubs his eyes. I can still smell the smoke, Hermie. It's almost a year later, and I can still taste the stench of burning corpses. When I sleep, I can hear the sirens and screams. There's no sound in this world as horrible as a burn victim's screams. The doctors would call this PTSD, I'm sure. They'd have me in therapy, maybe dose me up on SSRIs, like they do to our veteran soldiers. Quite a story for the tabloids. The great dragon slayer, Adrian Vauclair, mentally incapable of wrestling with his own demons. Shakes his head. No therapy for me. Certainly no medication. I have a reputation to live up to, however poorly deserved it is, and however little I want it. He pauses and stubs out his cigarette. The dragon is still alive, Hermie. Of that, I'm certain. One day, I will find her. And then, perhaps I'll be able to sleep through the night. Well. Interesting. On that note, I'm going to call this a video. A lot of conversation here, but it's necessary. Next time, we'll venture outside and talk to the people around the Kreuzbasar. Actually, before I end the video, I'm going to go ahead and spend karma. I should upgrade body a point, but I think I'm going to stick to my spell casting. Maybe up the willpower? Yeah. Need to up the willpower there. Got 6 more. Apparently 13 karma is what I accrued. Well, I had 4, I think. Maybe 5 when I was in Humanis. And then I guess that was just what I got for finishing that run, so yeah. I don't think getting any of this other stuff will help me. No, decking and biotech won't. Strength, no. I could put some points into dodge. No, that's just for physical attacks, so it's not for ranged. At least if I'm reading it right. quickness. Don't need... Well... Quickness and... okay. Dodge is a subset of quickness. Got it. I'm learning. Yeah, I'll just take that point of willpower and call it an upgrade. Then I'll save and call it a video. Catch you guys next time. Vic out.